Ooh, hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. GoodTimesWithScar here, and welcome back to the wonderful worlds of hermits and crafting. And it is so awesome to be back on the server. I've been off for a few weeks, taking a break over Christmas, and I am recharged and ready to roll for another awesome project here. So in our last few episodes, we've been working in the Christmas village, which was so much fun building the Christmas, little village and the tree farm on the live stream. But in today's episode, we will return to our project here at our base. Hello, guys. As you can see, by the way, before we get any farther, I am still wearing the scarf because I am absolutely freezing in real life. So I'm not taking that off till the temperature gets above freezing. Ooh, hello. There's something giant out there. Oh, that's Mumbo's Death Star. I didn't know he put the sign on there. Oh, that's amazing. Anyway, my friends, well, welcome back. And like I said, it is really great to be back. So what we're going to be working on is creating the tunnel. We're going to be creating some signaling systems for the trains, and of course some really intricate and beautiful looking archways that will make up our tunnel. So a lot of you guys have been asking this entire time, Scar, this is the most unrealistic train track, and I agree with you. That's why we're going to cover it up so nobody can even know. So this little curve right here is very unrealistic. The trains don't make these curves. So what we're going to do is we're going to totally cover it up with an amazing kind of terraformed mountain, but then lots of little beautiful details like the archways going into it. And before the, we always been talking about the signaling system that I've neglected to do. So I kind of just feel like getting right into it because, like I said, I haven't built anything in a while and I feel super rusty, but I'm excited because I'm recharged and ready to go, except for the fact that I'm literally icicles are on my ears. It's very cold. It's very cold. It's very cold. All right. So I put up these little pillars, but they're not useful in any way. So I'm just going to take those down. Okay. So let's just kind of plot this out. So what I want to do is I want to space this out, give myself a little room here to work with. So I'm going to probably start about, let's say I'm going to go about right there. And I'll just make up this little design like so. I'll cut these out. These were just some little ideas that I had. There we go. So that's kind of a basic design. Then I'm going to bring these at 1, 2, 3, and then go boom and a bam. Something like that feels right. Does that feel right to you guys? I think that feels right. We got it on both sides, and taking a look from a distance, I think that will line up. I would prefer to actually do 3 on either end like so. Let me just put one additional, no, don't have an extra block. So I'm gonna put that there as temporary. So I think 3 is actually the better choice. And look at the beautiful clouds. Aren't they amazing? I'm so happy that Optifine has been updated so we can use that again. So let's jump back over here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this up to about 8 blocks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oh, that's 6, 7, 8. I'm sure I miscounted that. I'm sure I did. So I think something like that will work out. So when you're coming up with little tunnel designs like this, especially train tunnels, I wanted to try to find something that had a round nature to it. So something that was round, if you will. And trying to create something round in Minecraft, I have nothing but trouble with that. I mean, Mumbo did a great job over there on his Death Star, but for myself, I have nothing but trouble doing. Okay, well, that's Jilly. She's upset that I closed my door. Anyway, like I was saying, nothing but trouble when it comes to that. But what's your guys' tricks? Maybe I need to ask your guys' help for this. What are your tricks for making circles? Now, we're only making a half circle, kind of like a dome, if you will. Yeah, man. It's never easy in the world of circles for me. All right, so I'm gonna actually move this up. So that's 1, 2. So then I'm gonna go off of this one right there. And I'm gonna probably bring this up to about 1 more block like that. I'm gonna sneak on over here. Look at that parkour skills right there. Loving it, I'm loving it. And I'm gonna work this piece up here. There might be some scar mistakes here, but I just wanna get the basics down here and see how we've done. If we've actually succeeded in making that correct, I want some hype in the chat. All right, let's see what we got here. So that's 1, 2, 3, perfect, we did it. You guys can put the hype in the chat if you want. All right, so going upwards a little bit. We'll use this as our scaffolding for now because, as you guys know, I haven't been on Hermitcraft or Minecraft in a while, so I'm a little rusty and I forgot my scaffolding. So to smooth out the arches, So this is kind of the basic design that I've kind of come up with a little bit. Is I'm going to kind of smooth them out using the half slabs and stairs. And I think that's always a good trick to help kind of make that a little bit smoother. So I think I'm going to work these pieces upwards like so. And then if I can, yes, look, at least I was prepared in that account. Oh, nope, there it is. At least I was somewhat prepared. There we go. I'm going to sneak on down and I'm going to see how that looks, because I think that, yeah, that's going to look great. That's got a great presence. I love it. The mountain's going to be beautiful built up there. The reason I really want to make this mountain tall is I want it to kind of cover up the train station. I want you to go and explore the train station. I don't want you just to stand right here and say, oh, yep, that's a train station. Seen all I need to see. No, I want this to be something that you get a glimpse of and then you want to travel to. And I think that's a good lesson in building, is to never reveal all, but only reveal a sliver to get the person to be intrigued and to venture onward. But let me add some more stairs, some more half slabs, and oh, be right back. Also, I gotta let Jelly out. Welcome back, and isn't that a beautiful sunrise? And I've made a modification. So yeah, there were some Scar mistakes here made. So this archway right here needs to be pushed back a couple more blocks, and that's what we're doing right here. The reason being is that, as you guys remember, there was some server problems before and we were moving servers and actually played on the old version of the server, and we lost a ton of progress that we did on this little slope across here. And I got to still redo that work. And by building this retention wall right here, we're actually going to not be able to build our pathways through here. So that's why I'm going to push that back. Second, I forgot to make room for our signaling devices, which go right here. So in the pursuit of never giving up on a perfect design, we're tearing down all of our progress and we're gonna redo it. And look at our awesome tunnel, looking absolutely amazing. Or, well, there's not so much a tunnel, but more of an arch. And I think that looks really cool. And this is what I was talking about, getting that extra space in the front here for our walkway, which we have to recreate. But yeah, I think this will be super sweet. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to sneak on over here and we're going to start kind of building up these pieces. So let's start. Oh, wow, I'm going all over the place back here. That's not what we're looking for. There we go. So I'm going to bring this up 2 more blocks, and then this will go up 2 more on this side, looking awesome. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with some stone slabs for a little bit of contrast off of the other pieces of stone that we already have. And looking at this, I'm going to bump it. I'm going to bump it. I'm going to bump it. So I'm going to move that up 1 more and push that out 1 block like so. We can always move it around, but for the most part, I just wanted to expand that out just ever so slightly. So I did a little research on, tunnels for trains. And what I found was that they always kind of had this kind of an arch. Generally, all the trains that I could find had a nice kind of arch design. And then off of the sides, they usually kind of had a retaining wall built up across here. And I think this will look really sweet. So we got that built up. And the next thing we need to do is start thinking about the mountain that's going to go on top of here. Now, that's kind of a daunting task, actually, just to build yourself a mountain. So that's kind of what I've assembled in these boxes here. So I got all these shulker boxes, which are amazing, by the way. I'm going to put these all along here, and then I'll show you guys quickly what's inside some of these. So as you can see, we got lots of stone. We got some tree material, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. We've got some of our hardened clays and some different landscaping materials. Now, the goal with this design, what I'm thinking about, is starting to raise it up like so, starting to bring it up along here. We're going to do kind of a mesa design and a little stone and then some dirt tops. So similar to what we've done in a lot of different areas. This all still needs to be worked on, but I think that'll actually look pretty good once we kind of get that built up there. And I'm pretty excited about that. So let me finish this up. And let me talk about this last piece too. This is a bit of a quandary that I have over here. And as you guys can see, the curve is relatively close to the engine, and I want to do the arch maybe like right here, but it's cutting it so close to there because I don't want you to be able to see that. So I don't know. I think once the mountain's down, this will all actually come together and it'll look really good. But at this point, I'm still a little apprehensive about the way that's going to come out. So let me do a little more planning. Let's get the signaling device supplies ready and we'll start working on that. All right, so one little touch I want to add up here is this block right there, and I might put the half slab back on the top. We'll see what it looks like from below here. And what do you think, Kat? What do you think about that? I think that looks pretty cool. Adding that little detail on the top, I think really kind of ties it together. Also, I really want to kind of randomize the blocks so they're not all just andesite, so we can, add a couple different details there. But for now, we're going to change it up a little bit here and work on something else. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to start working on the signaling device. So I'm going to set that down about there. I think that's a really good spot. And this is fairly simple. The only real complicated part to this whole thing is actually just finding the right spot to put the string. It's fairly simple other than that. There we go. So put that down like so. And then we're going to put this little detail right there. I love these blocks. They work for so many different applications. I might just want to build up a set of scaffolding on the side just so I have a little extra something to work with here. Okay, so I'm guessing this is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna move this up to about 6. So that's 1, 2, 3. All right, and let's move it up to, that's 4, 5. I'm gonna move it up one more. I'm gonna go up one more. There we go. All right. I mean, if we, like I said before, it's fairly simple, but we can quickly make adjustments if we need to. But I think this is gonna tell a really good story to our design. And that's kind of the main point. When you're ever trying to build something in Minecraft, you're always trying to convince and tell a story with your builds. And I think I'm actually missing one of the key components to this build. Yeah, I am, but that's okay. We'll use a temporary block in the meantime. I completely forgot a particular block, so I'm gonna use a dirt block. I know. You know me. It's okay. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add another one right there. Okay. I know this looks ridiculous, and you're just scratching your heads like, oh, Scar, what are you doing today? So I'm gonna put that right there. I'm gonna put this one right there. Beautiful. I love the shulker boxes. I mean, come on, these things are amazing. I mean, you can use them for so many different things. And a big thank you to my secret Santa who gave me all of those shulker boxes, which we didn't know who that was. It was Tango, and I might use those shulker boxes for wheels on the train. Dime gray look kind of amazing. So the reason that block was there is that's when I want to put a piece of iron bar going down. I think that would look really cool. And then I'm going to place this directly on the bottom like so. So we're creating that signal device. I know it doesn't look like much yet, but believe me, once we get a little farther in here, it's going to be really cool. So we're going to put these blocks right here. So we're going to start working on the signaler. And of course, that is going to be made out of carpet. And we need these particular string blocks here to go upwards so that we can connect our carpet. All right, so I've been doing quite a bit of research, and I don't know what any of these colors mean because, you know, I've been doing a lot of research. So I think this is going to work out. So I'm going to put these ones right there. Okay. And then this one and this one. Okay. I just know what they look like. I probably should know what this actually means, but until I do, I think this is going to work. So I think we can remove all of the string up until the lower section. So we can't remove this row of string, right? Oh, I think I can remove this one, and that one. There we go. Oh, look at that, my friends. That is amazing. Oh, this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. I think this looks really, really cool. So of course, this is kind of the signaling device that tells if there's other trains on the track and things of that nature. And I think that's gonna look really cool. And I wanna put more of these throughout the entire design. Maybe we can mix it up a little bit. Maybe move one of these pieces downward so it looks like it's, you know, slightly different than the others. Who knows? But anyway, I love that thing. I love it. And welcome back. And I just heard the most horrifying sound anyone can hear on a Minecraft server all alone. I heard the sound of the dragon dying. Isn't that if you're in the overworld, you can hear like a crumbling sound? And I heard something, but very muffled. It was like that sound, but very, very, very muffled. And it was this, and there was like a little crackle, and it really scared me. Anyway, welcome back. As you can see, I have changed out from the iron to one of the end rods because I think if you can find anywhere that add a little extra light, it's always a good thing. So I added a little bit of extra light using the end rod there, and I think that's nice. It comes now to the point where we got to start building the mountain. And I get nervous every time. Whenever it's a big project like this, we're really kind of going into something natural. If it's, say, a man-made structure like the tunnel or the signaling device, something along those lines, those are easy. Those are straightforward. Say if you get those things blown up by a creeper, you can build those up pretty easily, right? You can get those things set up pretty quick. But when it comes to natural things, you can never build it twice the same way. And that's kind of where it comes into this part right here, where we're starting to kind of build up these cliffs a little bit. And it's apprehensive a little bit. You do get that way, even if you've done it 1,000 times, because like I said, you never can build it twice. I didn't do any mock-ups or anything along those lines for this. This is just pure improv, at least of an idea that I have brewing around in my head. And I think for this side of the cliff, we're just gonna do a gentle slope and maybe eventually kind of open it up about right. I don't know. This is a high tunnel. And I just don't know where I'm going to take this. I think it's just going to be totally improv. We'll see where it goes. I am convinced we'll probably tear it down 3 times, but never fear about that. Never fear about tearing down your structures, your builds, anything along those lines. I always try to emphasize that because it's something I learned in like art is when I would create something, like I would treat it like the Holy Grail. I would never want to destroy it, and things of that nature. And you gotta like just tear it up and redo it, tear it up, redo it 1,000 times. And that 1,001th time, you're finally gonna get something kind of amazing. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment, is just kind of tearing this down, rebuilding it, just trying to get a good shape for the mountain. Now, I want to put dirt on here because I'd love to get some details, some, plants, some trees, things of that nature. But I feel like using the hardened clay will be a good base for everything to come. So, I know, I'm like a little stuck here. Why don't we fly way over here real quick? And we'll just kind of get an idea of how this is looking. It's not bad. It's not bad. I just want to start making some of these pieces go straight up by, 2 or 3 blocks. And I think that will start looking pretty good. I hope to do a super fast time-lapse mode here. But I don't know if I'm going to, just because this is going to be a lot of like tearing in, tearing out of the design. So we'll see where it takes us. But I'm going to start working on this, getting some of the grunt work laid down, and I'll catch you guys in a few minutes. As you can see, we're making some progress on our cliffs. I'm really trying to smooth them all out. And as you can see, there's quite a bit more work to do on that side. But let's fly back over here and go right down onto the bridge where I think this all really comes together. And see the slope kind of going upwards. That's where we're going to put a lot of kind of dirt. And I mean, we could even throw a waterfall on there. Why not? It would be amazing. So something along there might be really cool. That's where ideas can start to form in these little spots. You just kind of get a little inspiration from things like that. I don't really set out to build a waterfall, but if it works there, it might look actually pretty nice. But you can kind of see how this is all going to get tied together. We have this giant kind of monolith of a structure there. But once this is all surrounding it, we get some trees on there. It's really going to feel in scale with the rest of the area and make the little signal really stand out and all of those things. But yeah, it's a lot of work. It's just block after block. But I think it's coming out, and this part looked really bad for a while. So I think it's starting to blend in. Eventually we'll get the stripes back onto the mountains and things of that nature. But all that stuff can come in time. The first thing we got to do, of course, is just get the structure down. And that's what I'm going to continue to do, is just block after block. And I'll see you in another couple minutes. Now that is some progress. We have some landscaped areas around the actual tunnel entrance. So I think that's kind of a good, way to expand it up in and around. So one thing I would love to start working on eventually here is to start getting some dirt built up in around here. What I want to do is I just want some dirt kind of clinging to the sides of the cliff here. So it kind of looks like a bit of erosion's happening. And I think that's going to look really cool. And if we work our way up like so, this is where we can start actually adding some trees. So when they start working on this area, I actually don't have any on me, but I'm going to use this as demonstration. I'm going to start expanding the trees a little bit, and that's going to come into play later when we start working on our logging expansion. But our trees are going to start being 3x3s. So we're going to start building trees that are about 3x3 like so, kind of going upwards, because I want the trees to start getting a little bit bigger in the area where we're going to do the logging. That's kind of the older growth forest area of the particular build. But yeah, so some progress, and that's super nice. Let's fly over here quickly and just take a look. Now these are duration 3 fireworks, so you got a long ways to kind of go before you can even make a clean turn. So we need to start working on these big like cuts out of the actual ground, which looks super ugly. But oh, we have so much speed! Wow, we have so much speed. So that's what happens when you rock a duration 3 fireworks. But my concern still lies in this back section here, where we're gonna have to work a lot on Twitch, is to smooth out this hill and have it come down in a somewhat reasonable and realistic way, so that the train doesn't, I don't know. I just don't want the train to look ridiculous next to this giant mountain. So I'm going to start to kind of scale down the mountain a little bit in these areas So that's what I kind of want to work on now. The last thing would be the tunnel. So completely forgot we had to build a tunnel inside here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to kind of round out some edges here. And I think we're going to kind of start with a little bit of the kind of mesa material. So we'll start with some orange, we'll start with some hardened clay, maybe some browns, some grays and whites, and then transition into stone. So we'll kind of start here. We'll start with, you know, standard hardened clay, a little orange, some browns, some whites, some grays, things of that nature, and then transition into stone. And I think that'll look cool as you kind of go deeper within the tunnel. And yeah, so that's another progress update. I'm going to continue to start working on getting some more dirt up here and keeping that back section from getting a little too carried away. And welcome back, and look at our tunnel coming together, looking absolutely wonderful. Let's swoop over the train, and as you can see, our back section is still a work in progress. This whole project was a little bit more than I anticipated. I thought, you know, build an arch, build a signal tower, and just make a quick mountain. Well, if you're building in the mesa, quick mountain's never an easy thing to try to blend it in and try to make it feel kind of natural within the environment. But I think we're doing a pretty good job so far. We're getting the trees, we're getting the dirt kind of clinging to the sides. We've got the rock built in there. And I like our little retention walls here kind of holding up the mountain from collapsing over the tracks. I think that looks really nice. Got the tower built up on that side. Now along these edges, of course, we're going to get the colors and the stripes and all those things eventually down. Now, definitely follow me on Twitch, where we're going to work on the back section and start working on these things in a slightly bit more detail over on Twitch. So links in the description, of course, to follow me on Twitch. And I love this little section back here. Do you see that? Adding a little bit of stone back here where the, you know, the mesa kind of overlaps the tower. Still considering about pushing the mesa out a little bit over the archway. I think that might look really nice. And then the interior wise, we've been talking about how we're going to kind of frame this all up. There's also a lot of space within this area. Look at all this extra space. This is all going to be totally dead space once we bring the stone and the tunnel design through here. What can we do in this little corner over here? If you have any ideas, and if you made it to the end of the video, please let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts on what we could do with all that space. And like I said before, this is the biggest challenge with this entire thing, is to try not to crowd out the train. I don't want this to be just like right up to the edge and you can't see the big engine anymore, because I love that thing. Look at that, it's beautiful. So I think in a lot of cases, we'll probably build more of those retaining walls along here so that it looks like, you know, this whole mountain's been kind of cut out and then the retaining walls have been built around it. I think that sounds okay. What do you think? Okay, good, bad? I don't know. You got to let me know. But yeah, I think that came out really cool. And it was so much fun to get back into building again, get back on the server. And it's always just an absolute pleasure to start making videos again. And I want to talk a little bit more about that in our next episode, about you know, your passion, your things that you work on in life, and how to know if you're making the right choices. And I think we have a kind of I have a cool little philosophy on that I want to talk about. But until next time, this has been Good Times with Scar, and I always really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. And if you believe the video deserved a rating, that would be much appreciated. And until next time, we'll see you later.